The four faces described by Ezekiel. Ezekiel 1:7-10. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man. As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man, the face of a lion, the face of an ox, the face of an eagle. Ezekiel's vision of a UFO was their zodiac wheel, originating with the light beam shown above. The four cardinal points of the zodiac, the ox, bull, the scorpion, sometimes symbolized as an eagle, the water-bearer, man, and the lion, are the faces of the UFO described by Ezekiel. Judaism and the Old Testament, as well as Christianity and the New Testament, where the faces are described in the book of Revelation 4-6-7, are books of astrology and numerology, that the faithful are manipulated into believing is worship of the true living God, of which there is no such thing. Astrology and numerology are concepts based on mathematics and geometry, which is the thought process. The thought process, in turn, was introduced into the world through the Arab world, and this sacred geometry is worshipped as the one true God in Islam, under the name of Allah's, or all eyes. Revelation 4-6-7, and before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne, and round about the throne, were four beasts full of eyes before and behind. And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast like a calf, and the third beast had a face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. All of the Old and New Testaments of the Judeo-Christian Bible is Luciferian thought. Here we see grand imagery meant to shock and awe the population. The purpose of the UFO phenomenon is to cause well-intentioned people to believe the ridiculous. Many people will concede that, yes, ultimately everything we see is an illusion. Yet these same people give credence to the idea that UFOs are an advanced civilization from another planet, who have come to Earth, interbred with humanity, and formed a hybrid reptilian race that now runs the planet. This belief is the result of intense subliminal suggestion over decades of mass media manipulation. Having achieved this belief within this illusory body of humanity, many well-intentioned communicators are now spanning the globe, and have made a business out of perpetuating this alien aspect of the Luciferian agenda. This particular part of the Luciferian agenda creates an incredible distraction, and assists in establishing the 3D illusory cataclysm that the Luciferian group egregore hope to bring to pass. Alien equals a lion equals our lion equals the electrified iron. There's no such thing as time and space. Our own three-dimensional bodies are not real. Why then, this insistent belief that there are alien life forms who have existed for millions of years? The answer, quite simply, is to, once and for all, convince us that the three-dimensional reality of time and space is a valid concept. It is difficult to break free of the hypnotic state that keeps us believing everything we see is real. We have our five senses to convince us everything is real because we can feel, taste, touch, hear and see it. When we consider our galaxy so vast that it takes hundreds and thousands of light years for distant starlight to reach us, it is very hard to believe that space is an illusion. UFOs and their little pilots are a manifestation of deception. Yes, they do exist in this three-dimensional experience, but they are not what they tell us they are, which is life from other planets. To believe that, then you must believe space is real, and therefore, time is real. UFOs and the Greys are conjured up to deceive. They have told us they can take us on a long journey. Why do we assume they're speaking truthfully? So how do we know these are Luciferian egregore conjured up thought forms? Simply because all three-dimensional illusory forms are manifest as a result of the egregore group of thinking entities exercise the combining of shape, sound and color. This is the work of the Luciferian mindset. The universe and everything in it is created by this Luciferian mind, the mind that said let there be a light. This includes the UFO/Grey phenomena. Believing that the UFO events are orchestrated by a life form, on a faraway planet, in some distant galaxy, may be fine. Except for one thing. This perpetuates the myth that poses a real danger to grasping reality. If these are just alien life forms from another planet who present themselves as the Greys and reptilian bloodlines, then perhaps there's a chance they're not cruelly seeking our enslavement and submission to their agenda. In other words, maybe they'll play nice. However, this is not the case. These are much more dangerous than a life form from another planet. These entities are creatures straight from the mind of the Luciferian light-bearing group of thinkers. The only desire of this egregore mind is to destroy many of us, under the pretext of the judgment of God cleansing the earth, and to enslave the rest of us within the trance state, which forms this three-dimensional life experience. This is nothing more than the establishment of the New World Order, the Kingdom of God on earth, and the New Age of Enlightenment. It should be noted that the New Age movement is a strong promoter of the alien life from other planets concept. New Age, science, seance, intellectualism, religious entities. The New Age movement is a religion, just as science, seance, is a religion. The religious writings of the Old Testament describing something akin to a UFO in Ezekiel, and the New Age thinkers also speaking of this UFO phenomenon as fact, as do the New World Order folks who couch their UFO belief in New World Order rhetoric such as the all-seeing eye symbolism, demonstrates one common bond linking these supposedly diverse Luciferian group thought processes. We have seen, using the characteristics of a beam of light, that the number and language system is built on a huge foundation of manipulation and subliminal suggestion. Those in the science world use this system to perpetuate the thoughts and ideas implanted within themselves by the hidden entity, which entity is the thought process. Those who use the number and language systems to the furthest extent are not more wise in their conclusions, they are more flawed, more manipulated, and more in keeping with the Luciferian mindset. Using the intellectual systems built on the number and language systems leads the participants into the deepest ditch of ignorance, and the furthest into the darkness of the Luciferian mind. Intellect, and indoctrination in intellectual matters is the power of the reptilian brain, and a direct manifestation of the Luciferian conjuring sequence. The power of sigil magic is in the shape, sound association of the language system. Religion equals religion equals re, or ra, which coincides with the sound sigil of wa, or way. Wa relates to Yahweh, or the way, or again way, the watery portion of milk. The word religion is referring to the way of the flood that relates to the moon goddess, the queen of heaven, and the legions entranced within this way, for there are many of them. When substituting the G in religion for a Y, the word religion becomes re, or water lion, which is the water lion. The water lion, which refers to the Luciferian cataclysm event of the flood to cleanse the earth, is symbolized in the monument of the Great Sphinx, which is the lion's body, and the king's head. This is the Lion King, the water lion, or the lion from the tribe of Judah, written of in the Old and New Testament referring to the coming Messiah. The Messiah that will cleanse the earth. In Christian belief, this refers to the illusory being of Jesus of Nazareth. The symbolism of this Messiah has extended through the illusory centuries, to include Abraham Lincoln, the water Lincoln, or the water lion king, and eventually to Barack Obama. As is shown repeatedly throughout this site. Abraham equals Maha Ba equals Ma Ba equals CBA, or sea sacrifice, as Ba is the old Egyptian word referring to the soul, or the sun which was destined to be sacrificed. Lincoln equals Lion King, reincarnation equals the Iran-Iraq nations. The subliminal hidden within the word reincarnation refers to something entirely different from what the word seems to imply. Reincarnation is not referring to the departed souls of the dead, who are sent back to this 3D illusory plane to struggle on towards a higher form of enlightenment. Reincarnation is referring to the wars in the Middle East, and particular, to Iran and Iraq, that were designed to be initiated after the World Trade Center attack of 2001. This was the plan and the agenda of the Luciferian thought process from the initiation of the conjuring exercise. Reincarnation equals Reincarnation equals Rain Rock equals Iran-Iraq nation equals Iran-Iraq nations. The countries of Iran and Iraq form a great portion of the original illusory cradle of civilization. For this reason, to bring these previous subliminals relating to the original primordial Mound to a conscious level, the wars in Iraq and Iran followed close on the heels of the World Trade Center attack. These events re-established the notion of a new world and a new age within our illusory 3D realm, and the suggestion spawned a desire within the masses for the old to pass away, and a new to rise up. These wars in these countries, with these names, suggest subliminally of reincarnation, or the rebirth, the concept of being born again. Reincarnation is so obviously a myth that it hardly bears mentioning. The light energy that forms our three-dimensional form is a conjured-up illusion and is not who or what we are. Our spirit is also a fabrication of the illusion. Spirit is nothing more than energy that's invisible to the naked eye, and is the product, the manifestation, of the Luciferian thought process. If we shed our physical body and experience the illusion of death before our 3D illusory life experience becomes aware of our original wisdom state, we still shed the number, language systems that appeared to keep us locked in the trance state, and unaware. Upon shedding the physical body we are immediately aware of our original eternal wisdom state. The only drawback is that it was of no benefit to us as we experienced this present three-dimensional life existence. The three-dimensional world is of the Luciferian mind, as is every form of energy within this entire universe. Once liberated from this sphere of duality, Our original state of wisdom, which is who and what we really are, would never choose to reincarnate into this illusion. For it is that our 3D life experience, with its body, mind, soul and energy, spirit, is an illusion itself. Once dissolved by experiencing the illusion of death, the being that we appeared to be in the 3D illusory sense, ceases to exist. Who and what we really are becomes obvious, and the manipulation and confusion manifested through deceit comes to an end. This manipulation and confusion can end with the illusion of death, or it can end with coming out of the trance state before experiencing the death illusion. It's all, totally, completely, within the mind to perform this act. The mind, what we believe to be our mind, is, in actuality, the illusory receiving dish, conjured up by the Luciferian egregore, that accepts the thoughts of the Luciferian mind, or the thought process, and we consume, and believe that these are our thoughts, our beliefs. The confusion that ensues, then masks, or veils, the eternal being that we really are. We're still that one eternal wisdom being, however, the persistent nature of the Luciferian mindset relentlessly forces its nature and opinions upon our eternal state, intending that the resulting confusion will cause the imprisonment of that eternal wisdom state of power, or the imprisonment of our eternal being. In turn, this power, they intend to harness for their own ends. The 3D illusory being cannot be reincarnated, as it would be like asking you to return to your mother's womb to be reborn. It's ridiculous to consider that we can reincarnate into this 3D illusion because it's just that, an illusion. It's not really here in the first place, so how can we come back to it? What you believe to be real, and reality, even the words you're reading right now, and the life you're experiencing, are just part of the illusion, and consist of nothing valid or of worth. Furthermore, we were never really born in the first place. We simply always existed in our eternal original wisdom state, and we still do. Only the illusion of the 3D plane insists that we don't. The way to know if you're still in the trance state, or not in the trance state, is to observe whether you're attempting to make this three-dimensional life experience better, and whether any form of confusion concerning anything is still present. If you're attempting to make this illusory experience better, then you believe it's real and able to be made better. The 3D life experience was meant to be a disaster, and a failure, but with the illusion of success. Now that's confusing. The only benefit to be gained from this life experience is to realize there is nothing to benefit from this 3D illusion, and to come out of the trance state, thereby reconnecting, and regaining focus on reality, the eternal state, even as you continue experiencing the illusion of the trance state. This is the liberty and freedom afforded by observing, watching, and waiting, with no emotional reaction whatsoever, to anything that occurs within this illusory plane. The only thing separating us from realizing this is the deception of the 3D illusion that separates, or distracts us, from recognizing who we really are. In this way the Luciferian thinking entities only appear to control and manipulate us to do their bidding, when in reality, none of this is actually transpiring. Only the Luciferian thought process is concerned with the concept of rebirth in any of its forms. Christianity's belief in rebirth, or the notion of you must be born again, as well as other esoteric reincarnation beliefs, attempts to persuade us that we are not already perfect eternal beings. To be reborn implies we must experience a death. All rebirth or reincarnation concepts are in actuality death ritual, human sacrifice doctrines. It implies we need to die to live. This is the biggest lie ever sold. This is what 911 is all about, including the illusory 9/11 day of creation, up until the illusory 9/11 World Trade Center attack of 2001. Making us be the animal sacrifice for slaughter. Making us be the Baphomet, the pentagram, the five-pointed star, the goat, sheep or ram, the son being led to the slaughter,